What's up guys, IDMNJX here. So as you guys know, this channel started like a month ago, but I haven't updated since my first video. It's Christmas season, so I've been on a trip with my family across the US, and so it has been pretty fun. I have got back from the trip, and so a few months ago I bought the iPhone 8 Plus. The iPhone 8 Plus. I got it, which is actually September the 20th, and I was pretty happy about it. I still doubt that the iPhone 10 is probably an experimental stuff. It's actually the new generation of iPhones, so I did not prefer the 10 that much. But you know, the primary reason I didn't buy the 10 is like, I cannot wait. Practically, I'm wrong. I should have waited. So after like 3 months, here's what I got. The iPhone 10. Oh boy. So this video is not not technically related to this channel, but kind of related because it's still Apple stuff, but it's just hardware. So I'm gonna talk about why I finally accept iPhone 10 instead of iPhone 8 Plus, the old generations. I'll be talking about my mind journey over the past few months about the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10. What I'm feeling after I got the iPhone 10. So here we go. The first thing I need to point out is the iPhone 8 Plus is not inferior than the iPhone 10. Yeah, I mean, they're all great phones, and you cannot say one is like better than other because the 8 Plus got the same chip as the iPhone 10, and the 8 Plus got the same back camera as the iPhone 10, and it still got the portrait mode, which is very unreliable, but it still works. Apple, you need to improve your algorithm on the iPhones or on the iOS. So back to the launch of the new iPhones, I was actually pretty shocked that Apple actually made the 10 because I wouldn't expect the iPhone 10 looks like that. So the first thing I doubted about the iPhone 10 is actually the notch. Well, you know, these ugly things. It was actually so weird for me that the screen actually being cut off by the middle. You got the time here and you got the signals and stuff right there. We all know that the iPhone 10 is gonna be baseless, or you know, follow the steps of the other Android phones like Samsung, but I wouldn't expect that it would be a notch. And the next thing is, of course, Face ID. I have a strange feeling toward Face ID. I kind of like the idea that Apple was making. And Apple says it's much safer and much reliable than the Touch ID, but because I just couldn't understand back then why Apple would give up Touch ID and such, you know, such a great technology, become a trend for every phone up there in the world. So I really thought they were going to make a fingerprint reader under the glass, and some small stuff like the iPhone 10 cancels the home button, so you have to accommodate to new gestures. So after I bought the iPhone 8 Plus, I read a lot of articles about the iPhone 10 and many theories about why Apple would make a phone that looks weird with notch. Hold on one second. So I was thinking that when Apple made the iPhone 10, this is the original iPhone, like the iPhone 7 Plus and iPhone 7 models. So they make the screen bezeless and they just add a notch right here. Well, it's probably a little big. It's like, but actually, according to one theory I heard, and actually I pretty much agree with it, is that the so this is the old iPhone. Oops, focus. And Apple did not dig a hole in the screen. Instead, they extend up, like here and leave this space for Face ID. I was wrong in the first place. I assumed that Apple made a product that is baseless and, you know, mixed into reality. Just look at Samsung. Look at their ad. See, for the SA, they got a Samsung SA, or I'm not sure, is it SA? Yeah, it is SA. They got an SA there, and they got a whole pictures up here, and they took a shot of this beautiful view with the phone, and it kind of like the phone mixed into reality like this. It mixed very beautifully. But as you can see in the Apple ad, for iPhone 10, it's never about like they never use any background that shows the same thing as Samsung. See, they didn't hide the notch. They didn't want to hide that they got a notch, pretty ugly. I mean, totally ugly notch on the screen. They just go with it. I mean, they're doing a more strategy than that. They made a different move with Samsung, so I think it's their first step towards the next 10 years. I'm not sure what Apple's up to now. Maybe AR or something. Apple is always cool. So my next concern, Face ID, is kind of interesting because I was just getting so used to the technology of Touch ID. I just don't want myself to move from Touch ID to, kind of like facial recognition stuff, because I've been using Touch ID for like 2.5 years. I was doubting the Face ID because you would unlock a phone and you would just, put your finger up here and just, do that and just unlock. And for Face ID, you had to like face it and you're gonna stare at it for a moment. That was before the iPhone X, or sorry again, iPhone 10 come to the market. So I actually got to play with the 10 in the Apple Store many times. The Face ID works great. It's got slower than Touch ID, but it makes much more sense than Touch ID, which I'll talk about it later. So one thing who actually changed my mind, I was traveling in Christmas in New York City and some cold places in the United States. It was snowing in New York City. I have to keep my gloves on. Okay, there's no gloves, so whatever. When the gloves on, the Touch ID wouldn't work. Originally, I was thinking about like trying to password after some time the Touch ID didn't work. So when it got snow, I was just putting my finger on and on. You cannot use password after like 4 or 5 times or something. If I can get a Face ID, this was actually the first time I discovered the usage of the Face ID on the iPhone 10. Face ID makes much more sense than Touch ID because if you want to use an iPhone, so the first thing you get it off your pocket, lift it up like this, and then you gonna press the home button and it unlocks. It kind of makes sense, right? But what if you think in a new way? If your phone recognizes that you are you just get your phone up and then swipe it, and the verification process was actually done in a few seconds. The Face ID recognizes you, so you don't have to use your finger as a tool for verification. So it just makes much more sense than Touch ID. Okay, so this is the future me editing this video. I just want to point out that there's one more concern I actually raised about Face ID, and what Apple is going next is that the privacy concern. Yes, it sounds incredible because somebody's gonna say I maybe overreact to this issue because Apple's already got your fingerprints information. They claim they did not have their information. They're stored in the chip called Secure Enclave in iOS system or something. They were gonna store locally, but if they really want to get your information, you are probably not gonna know whether they have your fingerprints or not. And now they want your face information. I know for the next 10 years or maybe the next 20 years, 30 years, the technology is going towards like the computers to a very personal device. You can see like in the news app, you can choose to only watch CNN, MSNBC, and not Fox News or something. Or if you are maybe a conservative or something, you have to watch Fox News, and we choose the information we would like to hear. We choose the news that we actually want to hear. I know it's a little bit off topic, but I'm kind of scared what now the technology trend is going. I'm scared and I'm thrilled for the same time. It's like there was this dystopian movie and where people are living a great life, like Black Mirror, when people are enjoying their smart home, when people walking inside their homes and the lights were gonna come on and there might be a system that say hello, welcome home. Actually, such technology have already been achieved by a lot of things. Like I got a Google Home Mini right now. Hey Google, are you listening to me?
You don't have any notifications right now.
He doesn't understand what I'm saying. I mean, my idea that computers were supposed to be computers. They were made to be stupid. They were made to be like zero and ones because they're called computers. They were designed to calculate stuff. I think they're only tools for assisting humans. Trend right now is like it's going like making the computers more like humans, like more like your personal assistants. And what is it gonna be next? And what about future? What about this movie when the AI takes over the world? I mean, it sounds kind of stupid, but I don't know. It may happen. I mean, it's very off topic, but honestly, I'm pretty scared. Let's see what's going to be like in 10 years, maybe 20 years. I don't know. Yeah. And that pretty much covered my praise for the iPhone 10. But there's a little problem. I'm sure you guys maybe heard a lot about the inconsistency that the iPhone 10 created in the whole Apple ecosystem. Like the John Gruber, a lot of podcasters like Mike Hurley, Federico Vitici. But one thing I do appreciate that the 10 created is in the iPad, in iOS 11 you can swipe it up to go into the multitasking, which is exactly the same as we are going to do in the iPhone 10. You swipe it up. So that actually makes me feel a little bit of consistency within this inconsistency. So that was a little bit of an update, and thank you guys for watching this video. I'll be back to the normal updating schedule for like maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or a month or something, because I still need a little time to shoot for the next video. It's about task management app, about Things 3 and Todoist. I'll be seeing you guys maybe next month or next year. It's gonna be 2018, so wish you guys Happy New Year, and hope you guys had a good Christmas. It's IDAVNGX here, so peace out.